Hello, everybody. Alexander, Galaxy, Richard, Slow Draw, Alexander, Brock. Good to see your name here, buddy. Hello, Monir, Kareem. Nice to meet you. Oh, I know you, Kareem. Paul Penman, yes, my name's Dake. Hi, Hugo. Jays, how are you? That's all right. It's all right, Paul. So interesting action. Crude's bouncing back. So is it going to be a failing rally? I'm in that camp that it's a failing rally. How are you? Ryan, are you in that camp? Is Putin going in, or has crude peaked? That's the question today. ABC week.
We're going camping, are we?
Huh?
We're going camping.
Yeah. So, it was a pretty big down day. One thing that I've been putting out there, and if we're under this close, which is 2 weeks ago Friday, it's 91.95 by Friday. Mm-hmm. It'd be the first 2 week reversal since this week. So, it's all about how it finishes Friday. It's not one thing I always anticipate, candles don't do that. Wait for the candle to tell you. Yeah. And you have to wait. If it's a weekly, you got to sit on your hands for a couple of days. So pretty quiet trade, I'd say, in the currency complex, Ryan.
Yeah, a bit slow this morning.
Yeah.
We're still ping-ponging around the headlines from Ukraine, seeing when Putin's long or short, depending on how Lavrov is speaking. If he comes out speaking bullishly, then Putin's obviously long and he gets a little wrist bounce. Then he sells, goes short, and then the comments come out a bit later that are a bit negative, and down it goes.
If you're bearish Euro and you don't think it's bottom, this was a nice, if you didn't catch the initial break, look at where the bounce came back to, all this important support right here at 114.
Yeah, the old level between there and sort of 114, 114.15. It's the old level showing up, and that's a sign when you get the old levels and suddenly they show up again. It's a sign that the market isn't ready to push anything too far, and that gives you your ranges to trade.
Yeah.
If we get down to 113 again, have a mooch down there and that holds, then we're ping ponging 13, 14.
Yeah, if it doesn't, then you're probably talking about lows being retested. I think this is a real important level. Don't you, Ryan? If we got back under it.
Yeah. We tend to get these little extensions, don't we? You can see there's several pushes down there going back through January where it hits that sort of 112.80 mark, has a little shove through, doesn't hold on. And when it does hold on, I can see at the end of January, then we get that dip further down. Then it comes back up, breaks above, holds it, and we're holding it again. So, levels work, then they don't, then they work again. That's this kind of looks the same. Like last week I said, well, if you're bearish a dollar, wait for a rally to sell 620 or so. So we got up to 640. But so far, this pullback's pretty orderly. Yeah,
and looks like it could pop again. And yen hasn't done really anything wrong since this big Friday panic here. So I don't know. We start closing over 1580. We'll probably have a shot for new highs here.
It's a familiar picture, though, isn't it? We have a high, then we have a low, and then we sit in the middle waiting for what next.
we're in the middle again.
But I think we've got a fairly important set of data out today. We've got retail sales. I've just been looking into it a bit, expecting a semi-decent bounce, we could call it, 0.8%. Is it 0.8%? I think so. But, we've seen consumer confidence week this month. We've seen the Michigan consumer sentiment week, 10-year low. We've had the NBA data, the housing data, which is also flagging some problems. The data's just starting to take on a little bit of a bearish note. And, when you got an economy that has rising inflation and a weakening economy, now you can see why the bond markets are, the curves are adjusting to that and calling out the potential for the rate hike path. So these retail sales could be pretty important if they come in negative today.
Yeah, man, that, with the yields up here, definitely, we're right there. The 205 is kind of held for a little double top. I don't know whether I could trust that double top though.
No.
But it could be. I mean, these were targets. A lot of people had 201. I know some people that had 210, 220. Maybe that happens. We at this last high, we diverged a little bit, and I know a lot of people are following the metals. Especially Steven Stelios. And here's my question to everyone out here. Is this could be, if you covered it up and you just looked at the chart, it's testing the breakout, but this kind of looks like a little bit of a bear flag. So this is more important in gold than what's happening in silver, because silver never broke out, right? Silver's posting lower highs. So a pretty important day, I think, in the metals to stay alive from the break that they had yesterday. So I'm kind of going with like crude and gold as being a bounce after yesterday's relief from, thinking the invasion is going to happen right away. Yeah. What do you guys think? I know Blake's comment, kind of been ringing in my head that, just withdrawing 10%, and it's not even verified, of your troops doesn't really make for a withdrawal. So,
hey guys, morning.
Yeah, hey, Stel.
Dale, do you remember when there was the move made on Crimea? The Russians were saying, "Oh, we're not going to escalate." They were saying the same things they're saying now. So you have to be a little bit careful. Obviously, I'm not there, so I don't know what's happening. But from what I understand, there was some kind of exercise, and now they're bringing those troops back. So really, it's not. Obviously, it's not a bad thing, but I don't think it can be taken yet as, oh yeah, it's de-escalated, everything's nice and dandy. I hope, I wish it was, but I don't think it is. So
Russians only withdrawals from vodka, Richard. So. That's a real good one. All right, and so EG, what I want to see in EG. I know it acts okay when the dollar's weak. I want to see how it acts when the dollar's strong. Have a day where the euro's down 20, but cable's down 40. That would, because we seem to get the bounces when the dollar is weakening a little bit. So I'd like to see it still improve. If the dollar's perking up, that cable's still weaker than euro.
Yeah, it can be heavily dependent on how much cable is moving versus the euro.
What do you do with cable here? What amount is this a possible? Say we rally to 36 one more time, or we don't? Some type of head and shoulders pattern. With it starts closing back under 135. There's a problem.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it. We've had several. Nudges down there, but no closes under, no holding under, no price action saying we've broken and we're going to hold the level. And the same on the top side, where's the level? 136.50 perhaps?
Yeah.
You think if we get up there, but you want to see, there's times when you want to look for a break, you've got to get the confirmation. There's times when you can, run with a break and think, yeah, I'm getting in. And there's times you want to think, I want a confirmation. I want to see 134.90 break, and then a test straight after, and then the level hold. And when that happens and you get that confirmation, then you've got a bit more confidence that the move's going to continue. But if you try selling a break at 135, you're running into trouble.
You might get stuffed like this day.
Yeah, 7, 8 pips, 10 pips, you're getting caught out. So you've got to have that confirmation in markets like this when they're going sideways like
that. Stel, you're our new S&P specialist. What are you thinking here? You covered well.
I'm a noob because I did. I remember I had the pattern play which did well. Yeah. I had another short, but that had that only in partial size. I didn't have that much conviction, and I covered this morning on this little squeeze for a small loss. But I still think we should be selling rallies. I panicked a little bit, but it's okay. It happens to everybody. Still think we should be selling rallies. End of story. In equities, in anything risk related, cryptos, all that. Oil is something very different. It used to be correlated somewhat with risk. Now oil is a different beast completely. It has its own factors pushing it one way or another. And I think in oil we should be buying dips. So
get ready to buy it at 80.
Yeah, forget a nice meaningful dip. Yes.
Yeah, but people will be all over that if it happened down there.
Yeah, but I have more conviction on selling rallies in equities. I just, with bonds falling, yields rising, 10-year US still above 2%, and central banks being where they are now and telling us what they're telling us. This Russia-Ukraine thing, of course, it's a distraction. It's an important distraction, but it is a distraction. We have to focus on the big picture, and the big picture is accommodation is being removed. There's no way getting around that. Now, if central banks, for whatever reason, turn around and start being more dovish, then I'm going to change my views. But for now, my macro view is you have to be selling risk rallies. That's my view, and it will remain.
Okay.
And remember, we've been talking about equities for so long on these webinars for years and years, and we had, apart from that COVID crash which lasted for 3 weeks, whatever. These was really weird times. Apart from that, what have we been saying for a long time? Equities are overvalued. They are, they're too rich, but you really don't have the catalyst to make you say, right now things have changed. We're not buying the dip anymore. We are selling the rip. And this is now the catalyst. Remember, I was saying you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Well, I think now things have changed, and I've said this for the past, a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. I think things have changed. So, until we get, or unless we get something different, this is my view, and I will not deviate. And I think that's what I want to be doing anyway.
Yeah, I think retail sales may be important. Hi, Kman. What are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, Stelios, don't sell Bitcoin. Warren Buffett just invested $1 billion into fintech Nubank.
Okay.
Warren Buffett, he said never, but now it's never say never. He's investing in Bitcoin, fintech, man.
Is he investing in Bitcoin, or is he investing in the technology?
In Nubank. He's not investing in Bitcoin. He's investing in what's behind.
So that's a different thing. It's like people saying.
I know.
It's like people saying NFTs. NFTs are the future, and I agree 100%. I think everything we own in the future is going to be done via NFTs. But that doesn't mean a monkey smoking a cigarette, a digital image of it. It should be worth $11 million. That's my
probably 50 by now.
Whatever it is.
I'd pay $100 for that.
Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. A very good, very early morning.
Yes.
When I was updating the pictures this morning in our chat room, I've never drawn as many triangles than I've drawn this morning.
Let's see them.
I'm just saying in general. It's the markets are digesting what's going on,
indecisive and compressing,
and you can even see it on your S&P from the 2022 start. You can actually draw a triangle there, but there's one in gold, there's many in the yen crosses, and I think and Stel said as much, and I agree. But for FX, we are now waiting for that catalyst to happen, to take everything into a direction. But I think we're anyway. The FX related part of many assets has likely been done because we are the ranges are gradually tightening. So we have to be alert, but know that we are waiting now for the next thing to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah. Can you make any sense out? I know you trade Looney came in. What do you think? I mean, we've been in this is in the triangle. It's more like a rectangle.
Yeah. It's around 26.5, 128, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
What are you thinking here? you just have to wait for it to prove itself over 28.
Yeah, look at it from the high low. Just so it came in. Look at it from the high low again. We're bang in the middle. You know,
respected,
yeah,
right?
True.
And
all of it.
I do think that Canada had the opportunity to weaken more so far.
Okay.
And it has this capacity, even if you look at Canada yen, for instance, to bounce. I'm not per se a Canada bear for the moment.
Okay. How about Aussie here? Are we going to challenge last week's highs, or is this a good fade here?
Yeah, this is it. 82, 87, 71, 82, 87 is a resistance.
Yeah.
Tried and failed this morning. So I'd be looking at that one for a starter, and then the 71, what is it, quarter of 25, 30 on the downside to start with.
Yeah.
But it's, again, you look at the high lows, and then you look where we are.
In the middle. Yeah.
We are in the middle, and something's going to have to take all of this apart sooner or later, perhaps, and I think likely once Fed effectively starts to raise rates. Then we are going to see, in my opinion, the next big moves starting to unfold.
Malcolm in the Middle markets.
Yeah, exactly.
I never watched the show, but I know the title. So that's what we have. Malcolm in the Middle markets. Okay.
And actually, you can look at it in everything. Look at the S&P. We are 10 points away from the 200-day moving average. We are really turning around,
right,
and look at okay, we came back quite strongly from the highs, then we retested break levels around the 46 zone, and now we are right in the middle, 44.5 around.
Yeah, because I remember this. What the hell? I remember this being an important low, and when I was talking to Stel Friday, I said, who's going to want to go home long taking out that low for Monday? So, yeah, this is a pretty important level here.
And
hey, Dale, you're coming in pretty light, buddy. I can barely hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about now?
No,
yeah, better. You. I think you put your microphone on top of your head while you took a drink of coffee.
Yeah, I just move it up. But
yeah,
I forget.
Hey, I do that too. I've done that in the past. How you doing?
So I'd say,
morning, guys.
We are waiting for a catalyst for something to happen. Yeah.
You know what, Kman, I couldn't agree with you more. You were just talking about all the triangles. Dale, do you mind if I take the charts here?
Go, buddy.
Yeah. So, Kman, you were saying that about the markets, and I'll tell you, it's super quiet. And you guys talked about this when you stepped, or when Ryan stepped on earlier. The euro dollar 114. That's a big deal. I think that's a previous breakdown point. That's the double top neckline broke down, 50% retracement. You can see there's a lot of messiness right around the 114 level. So that's going to obviously offer resistance. I mean, if I'll reference, if you're a ForexAnalytix subscriber, last night, the euro dollar, we wrote that the 114 level overnight is going to be big. That's where you're going to find sellers. And, we made it as high as 113.95. So, ahead of those numbers, people start to step in because it's going to be very pivotal. But you look around at the rest of the market and, whether you're talking about the Aussie, you can see that consolidation. We can't even get above the 618. You got the Canadian. We're in this channel. You've got, I was looking at, you can go over, actually, we can go over to the dollar mex. You can say that's a wedge. Look at the euro mex. It doesn't, this is where you tend to find volatility. We're just sitting really at key support. The rand, I mean, this is, very tight trading ranges that you can see right here, against very key support. Norway, big triangle. Dollar yen, big wedge. I mean, so exactly what you're saying, Kman. Lot of tightness here in the market, and we are waiting for a catalyst. Now, what do you guys? And because you said that, let me probe you. And I'm going to start with Ryan, since I haven't talked to Ryan yet this morning. Ryan, what could be a catalyst that drives the market a little bit here? What do you think?
I think we've possibly got to going to have a move today, depending on what these retail sales are like. Because as I wrote in the chat room and mentioned earlier, if we get a negative number today, that's going to be 3 on the trot, and that's coming through what is usually a big spending couple of months in November, December, because it's the holiday months.
Yeah. Hey, wait, I'm sorry, guys. I got to step away from my computer for less than a minute. Dale, I'm just going to put myself on mute for just 1 minute. Right. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, so as I was saying, if the retail sales come in bad today, that's going to be 3 months straight of negative retail numbers, and that's not good in any picture. And that's coming on the back of a falling trend in sales since around September, October time. Now, if the market picks up on that and decides to make something of it, we're going to see some decent moves. That's potential. What's he going to do with stocks? Is it going to send stocks lower because it's bad for stocks that people aren't buying stuff in the shops? Or is it going to be good for stocks because the market might think, well, that's going to put pressure on the Fed hiking. We're going to maybe see QE for longer, or they're not going to tighten as fast as possible or as expected. So I think there's potential today for some good action. Whether that kicks everything out these triangles is another question. But all it takes sometimes is a trigger like this, and the market makes a move and it sets itself on different planes. So that's my view of what could kick it today. Otherwise, I'm in line with Kman that the Fed will be the big cruncher, if you like.
Okay, so let's looking at Lydia is going to be in Dubai, so we're going to have her analyst Dale, her technical analyst, not psychological analyst, will be here. Lydia's building an empire. So proud of her. You guys want to look at some more charts before Blake gets back here? I'll share my screen.
No, I'm here. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
It's
all right.
So before I got so rudely interrupted, so I'm sorry.
That's okay.
About that, happens at 0 dark 30 in the morning over here. So Ryan, you were saying retail sales, that could be a mover, and this is kind of one of those things. And just going back to that comment really quick is, we got to see the consumer and how the consumer is responding to these higher prices, right? I mean, that's what it all boils down to. And but did Kman get a chance to mention what he thinks might be a catalyst that drives us around?
Ryan,
I do agree retail. On the day. I'm not sure whether it's going to be more than an algo blip, but unless they're really bad. If they're really bad, then I do agree. Then we have to be careful on risk today.
Well, let's just talk really quick about the dollar, just because the dollar's, I would say, arguably in mid-range. And one of the things that I'm pretty good at identifying, especially ahead of pretty key data, is when we get to a neutral zone. And you can take the dollar index and say, pretty much right now, if we get above the 618 retracement, which comes in, let's just say roughly around 96.50, that's bullish. The dollar is going to get a good move up towards the highs. But the flip side of that is, we get below, like, let's just say 95.30, definitely 95.15, which is right here. That's when we break through, an ascending trend line that's been, intact basically since mid last year. So I think that the dollar is just finding it, its comfort right around the 50% retracement here. You can see it right around these levels, and we're kind of trapped right now looking for that catalyst. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up really quick before I know Lydia is coming on with you today, Dale. I want to really focus on gold too, and I don't know if gold is going to be necessarily, well, it could move today, but gold had a big move. We talked about this over the week ahead video. We had the breakout above the highs. Now this is high enough, and let me delete some of the stuff here. this is high enough to have squeezed out a lot of
Everybody.
shorts. Yeah,
It took out the prior high by a few bucks.
Yeah, if you were a bear, I mean, like
gone.
if you're a bear, you got stopped out. You put your stops right above these highs.
Yeah.
And you probably just got wiggled out. You might have got wiggled out on this move above this breakout, the triangle breakout, or above that horizontal resistance right there, as Dale's talking about, just by a couple of bucks. And now my 2 cents is a false breakout can lead to a breakdown. And so that's why I'm very, very much watching this move. Now, I'm watching gold, but I'm not necessarily, I'm watching it, but I don't know how that's going to relate, or if there is going to be any type of correlation to the dollar. Typically when gold goes down, the dollar goes up. But remember, gold and the dollar rallied on Friday of last week due to the Russian threat.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure, if a downside move in gold, like let's say things in Russia kind of settle down, if that's going to lead to dollar weakness and gold weakness. So I'm kind of,
it's a tough call.
It is a tough call. So I think what we have to watch for is technically just to see what happens here, because if we start breaking down, back in the 1820s, I would say 1830. Remember, this was a big pivot. If you guys don't recall, 1830 has been kind of a big pivot because it was a 618 of this move. If you take the high here to the low, you can see the 618 comes in right at 1830. I think that's going to be a pretty important level for the market on the way back down if we start heading lower. And that's when you start getting the traders that are frustrated, like, oh my God, I was short and I missed it. I'm going to jump back on. Then you get everybody who got long on the breakouts going to start getting stopped out. So then you start seeing some pretty massive reversals there. Do you guys have any opinions about gold? Ryan?
You know my opinion.
Notice is buying gold every dip.
I was gonna say my bias is bullish, but I'm trying to get the best entry I can. So and at the moment it's still gold and silver are still not trading well. Even though it's trying to break out, gold's trying to break out. That kind of false breakout might lead to weakness. So they're not convincing yet, in my opinion.
Gold more convincing than silver. I think if you have to be long either of them, Blake, you want to be long the gold.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's a hard call, right? It's like I look at, like, you look at, here's gold, right? And I drew that as an exaggeration, so let's just get rid of it. I mean, gold's got some pretty key support, around the 1680. Silver's got pretty key support, 2130. And this is at this level, broken silver, I would be really worried about silver. I think silver could, lose a few bucks pretty quick. Yeah, but hey, if you're a long-term, precious metals bull like Stelios, you're hoping that we get some decent dips here to get long. Right. I mean, I would imagine, like, for me,
everyone wants to buy 19, Blake.
No, I don't. Well, I don't want to play. Well, you were talking about silver. I don't want to play gold on the long side up here. I'd rather play gold on the long side down here, near 1700. And yeah, if you're looking at silver, you're like, well, I'd rather be a buyer of silver closer to 20, right? So
yeah,
so I think there's some scope for some downside. I just don't know how long-term sustainable it's going to be to the downside. Now we have just about a minute. Yeah, 1 minute before the data comes out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up our charts like this, and let's get rid of gold. Let's put the euro up. Since we know the breakout points at like 114, and I would think any dip in the euro now down to 113 is going to find buyers. So maybe 113.
Blake?
Yes, Steve. Good morning.
Good morning. Just a reminder, I keep saying it every week, but the media generally don't report this, and it is super important. Retail sales have never been and are not adjusted for inflation, meaning that a consumer that buys less stuff using the same amount of money that's retail sales neutral, right? But it is negative for the consumer, obviously.
Oh, green
S&P's
numbers.
coming-
Oh, sorry, no,
S&P's
export price and import price.
Wow,
Oh,
retail
green
sales.
numbers
Wow,
everywhere.
look
Yeah.
at the revisions.
3.8
Um,
on retails on the main headline.
What's that?
Decent. 3.8 on the main headline. X
Yeah.
Autos 3.3. X Autos Gas 3.8. The core sales, which is the big one, 4.8%. So big rebound.
Yeah, but look at all the revisions lower. I think that's what's really, kind of pushing the market.
And also coming back to my point, because it's, in my opinion, it's exactly depicted here. We might be seeing for a period of time retail sales stay strong, but consumer are actually spending more money to buy the same amount
The
of
same
stuff,
stuff.
or even less
Yeah.
stuff. And how do they do that? By going deeper into credit.
So really quick, I just want to say Canadian CPI did come in a little hotter than expected at 0.9% versus 0.6% expected month over month. That's given the Canadian dollar a little bit of a move as well.
5.1 year on year. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think that the Canadians largely in a very big triangle. Speaking of triangles, that we've been referencing.
That was Kman's theme.
Yeah,
Triangle City.
All right. So, hey, Steve, thanks for your analysis. Stelios, Ryan, Kman,
Cheers, guys.
thanks for being here. And then
Cheers.
Dale, obviously, thanks for always being the best host. Remember, make sure, have fun with Lydia.
Lydia sent me a message this morning. She's on her way to Dubai. So she wanted her chief analyst to be with us. Davo, are you here? I don't know if she was able to arrange it, but Lydia's building an empire, traveling to Dubai and stuff. So Davo, if you're here, this is your chance to fill Lydia's shoes. Going once, going twice. Okay.
Don't see in the attendees. Is it DAVO?
Yeah, that's what she said in the email.
I don't see
or
it.
anyone, if I have your name wrong, Lydia Idem Finkley, Lydia at Faith Might.
Anyone that wants to represent Lydia, just
Anyone, yeah. Please stand up. You want to do it, Steve?
You know what? And since she's not here, or we're waiting for
Nothing.
one of her folks. Let's go back to the retail sales inflation theme that Steve you were talking about. So Steve, you want to finish up your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so the issue is that it's quite usual, if you go back in history, to see when an inflationary period is underway, to see retail sales seem strong, right? And people that don't know how to interpret the data are like, oh, look at the consumer being very strong. I mean, retail sales are high. No, that's not the case, actually. That is the worst thing you can have. Consumer end up spending more and more to just keep buying what they used to be buying. Many of them, because we know the situation with the average consumer, initially have to do that by going deeper into debt, up to the point that then they can't go any more deeper into debt, and then you get retail sales plunging, right?
Remember, this is a dollar value, change in dollar value of sales. So like Steve said, the same product becomes 10% more expensive. You have to pay more for it. It doesn't mean that oh my God, these things are so good, my financial situation, I'm spending more. No, you have to spend more for the same product.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same conversation.
Smaller size.
And I find it particularly weird that such an important number is not being deflated. It's not being deflated, by the inflation number, right? Because if you want to compare apples to apples, right, this is the only way to do it. But they don't do it. They give you retail sales as it is, at nominal terms, in essence, right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. All right. Well, thanks for your input there. Make sure you guys, try out ForexAnalytix. It's only $1 to get involved in probably one of the largest and most active communities in the markets. I mean, this is like our general chat rooms. We get all these like different threads and people saying good morning and putting out charts and talking about MT4 and all, you know. I mean, this is just, I'll show you, this is just activity from, I got up about an hour and a half ago into the chat room, and this is the slowest day that we've had in the markets in forever. This is the general chat room. That's over just in the last hour and a half, just in the general chat room, not all the other chat rooms that you see here. So anyway, jump in the community, get involved. We don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. We only talk about
pips
and Stelios's lack of hair. That's pretty much the only conversation points that we have. I'm lucky. I'm only are you still here? I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
I just want to address something. And Nuno, Blake covered EuroCAD yesterday. That's why you become a member, because when we close here, you could go right into the Morning Edge and have Blake and ask Blake about EuroCAD again.
Yeah, and actually, if you go into the trades room, I've actually updated a few things about the EuroCAD as well. You know, and I mean that's just, you know, and I'm just telling people how I navigate through the market and the way I'm trading it. You know, and having just ideas is so important. When you're trading, you know, just, you know, kind of seeing where everybody's at. I'm a firm believer you don't have to follow anybody as a trader. You know, I really believe that's not the route.
No, but you want to know the hows, whys.
Yeah, you want to know the hows, and you know, kind of, you know, how we navigate through the markets. If you go through, you know, chat room, you know, you don't have to necessarily go into the trade room. You're in the general chat room, or, you know, the macro, which this name will be changed from FFL to Macro Flow chat room, Flowonomics is what it's going to be called. Yeah. Anyway, you want to kind of know about, you know, how things are doing, but also it's nice to know if like, let's say you respect what I'm doing as a trader, and you're like, well, I like Blake's analysis. He kind of trades the way I do, knowing that, hey, I'm bullish the euro down at these levels. Oh, well, that's good. Maybe I should be, you know, thinking about being more bullish the euro, or, you know, I'm more of a scalper. I'm kind of following along so and so. You know, great. You know, just
so
knowing how they're positioned and what they're kind of picking off. You know, that's
and the other part of it is, like, Nuno, you want to share this Gartley with us. You know, you could be helping other people in our community by sharing the Gartley in one of our chat rooms. So
yeah, like if you were here 3 days ago, I'm like, the NASDAQ 100, we had a Gartley pattern and we should be bouncing here. Yeah. And you know, here we are.
Anyway, the bottom line is you guys come here because you're getting value here, right? So are you joining, Nuno? Okay,
he's in the
great.
room, yeah.
So you know, really, if $100 is an issue, you probably shouldn't be trading. Or if it's just that you don't want to spend $100, then, you know, there's probably other issues. But if it's an issue for you to invest in your self to become better, you know, you're not going to get better. All right. So that's why I'm saying, you know, I'm actually fortunate. I got better and got paid to be in this surrounding with really talented guys.
That's because you're the hostess with the mostest.
And baby. It made me better. I'm telling you that if you hang out here for a year or so with the crowd of traders that we have, it's the fun. I think my dad jokes are worth $100 a month. Don't you? Huh?
No.
Anyway, that's the end of my.
I strongly disagree. So
anyway, all right, I'll pay you $100 a month to listen to them. Anyway, that's my pitch. You know, guys, it's from my heart.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a great place with great people that want you to succeed. It's not easy to find, and I rest my case.
All right. So well, thanks, Dale. Thanks for being here, and thanks everybody for supporting us every day.
Blake, just before you go, can you pop into the news flow tab on the dashboard there?
Right. Oh, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, when it loads, because if you go down to just down a bit to retail sales, I've pinched Steve's analysis there.
Oh, nice, Brian.
There's
That's
a
it
what?
in the red box. See in that red box? Yep, stop there in the
Yeah.
retail sales, little explainer.
Oh,
That's a good point made by Steve.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
nice.
Very
See
cool.
what I
Very
mean?
cool. And by the way, this news flow right here, this is kind of like a lot of stuff doesn't get translated to Twitter, comes in private right through here. So there's a lot of tools inside of the ForexAnalytix platform that is just part of the service as well. So and download the mobile app too while you're at it. All right, Dale.
All right, buddy.
Thank
So,
you. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess. And I'll see the rest of you guys from ForexAnalytix.
Adam Button will be here. He's the most reliable guest I have. So Adam
Cool.
will be here. It's pretty unusual. Lydia and Shy Girl in 1 week after the other. These women. I don't know.
Ladies on the move. Both of them happen to be traveling too.
They are. It's don't tell me there's inequality. They're living large. So, okay, that's it. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings, guys, and become part of our family here. And it will serve you. Adios, everyone. You could join the team in now, 45 minutes, morning edge, and you have to be shaved to go into the room. Talk to you later. Adios.
Thanks, everyone.
I think I said
Bye-bye,
that
all.
already. Adios, adios. How do you say goodbye in Greek?
He left.
With silence. With silence.
That is, don't quiz me on that because that's not. I could say good morning and good evening.
GS.
Maybe it's Kalispera would be good evening. Kalimera is.
Can't wait for our party in Athens this year.
Oh
It's going
God,
to be a blast.
I never remember my parties in Athens. All right,
All right.
see you guys.
Adios.